I hope that what he did plays over in his mind every single waking moment that he lives on this earth. And I hope that he never falls asleep without seeing her beautiful face.
Welcome back. This morning, we're shining a spotlight on the continued search for the remains of Harmony Montgomery. The 5-year-old disappeared back in 2019, and volunteers combed through the Harmony Marsh Reservation in Massachusetts on Saturday morning to try to find any signs of the child's remains. The search was organized by Harmony's biological mother, Crystal Sori, who spoke to NBC 10 Boston on why this particular area was key to explore.
This area is part of where he went in the U-Haul. They had, cameras, and they tracked the mileage in the U-Haul that he went. And there's 23 miles that he went back and forth from the Tobin Bridge all the way out to here. So we are, that's why I chose this area, because I don't really think he would go into the marsh, you know what I mean? I think it would be more like parking lot area, outskirts, even like walking in and just chucking into the woods type thing. I think that he would choose a big area that's difficult, but also he was a lazy criminal, you know what I mean? So I'm hoping that I'm on the right track. I'm trying to go with my intuition, and this is where I felt it was important to start.
Yeah, he is a lazy criminal, as she said. Adam Montgomery, Harmony's father, convicted of murdering her. That conviction happening just recently, and he's serving prison probably for the rest of his life for all of his crimes. He's got some gun crimes as well, and he's been no help in finding his beautiful daughter. So will investigators, searchers ever be able to bring Harmony's remains home? Let's bring in a very special guest now. She's a retired juvenile court judge and the author of the book, A Cruel Injustice, about Harmony's case. The Honorable Carolersin is with us this morning. Good morning, Judge. Always a pleasure to have you on the show.
Good morning, Julie. Thanks for having me.
Of course. Just share with us first your thoughts, Judge, just as a person, just watching on the news, seeing these search efforts going on for little Harmony, when you've got such close ties to this case, what's going through your mind?
Well, I think I'm happy to see that people aren't giving up on Harmony. To have these searchers out there and to have people looking along the Harmony Marsh where Adam Montgomery likely disposed of Harmony's remains somewhere along there. It's good to see that people aren't giving up on Harmony, at least those folks. Unlike lawmakers in Massachusetts who essentially have given up by not even putting into legislation and enacting the Harmony Commission to investigate the case and what went wrong. At least there are people out there who haven't forgotten her. So I'm happy to see it, but I have to be honest and say that for this man who carried her remains around in trash bags and coolers, and then in the final tote bag, that I don't have a lot of hope that her remains will be found.
Right, Judge. And you put that really well. We heard the horrifying evidence in the case about how he was abusing little Harmony's corpse and trying to, make her disappear, essentially, with various means in the bathtub of one of the places where they were living. And as you said, to the tote bag, and we heard Harmony's biological mother reference the tote bag. There's been quite a bit of time that's passed as well. And we have the defendant, the monster's own statements. We got him on jail calls, essentially saying that investigators wasted their time. Let's go back and take a listen to some of what Adam Montgomery has said about the search for Harmony.
How outlandish seriously and they have to do their due diligence. If I would be bad, it would be bad. If you don't think I would hear that way, even like way to just waste taxpayers' money, I guess. You're going to just think about how much money that you're wasting and an effort I think that you're trying to prove a point. Okay, I understand that, because I really do. But what I like the cost, man.
Yeah, it's very clear, Judge, isn't it, that this guy, he doesn't care. He doesn't care. And this is his beautiful daughter. It's a crying shame that he had custody of her. And you know so much about this. You presided over the adoption for Harmony's half-brother, Jameson. They share the same mother, Crystal Sorey, and Jameson, thank goodness, is living the best life ever with Blair and Jonathan Miller, and I know you're very close to them. And you got to see how, unfortunately, Harmony wasn't able to have the same chance at life because of Adam Montgomery asserting his parental rights. Would you talk to us a little bit about what you called this cruel injustice and how the system put her in this monster's hands?
Right. It was, as you listen to the phone call, you know, you can really just hear the evil in his voice. And that's what makes me worry. The fact that he's mocking the searchers, it makes me worry that her remains won't be found. But what happened in Massachusetts was just a case of reckless indifference to the needs of Harmony throughout her time in DCF custody. They didn't meet her needs. And then, of course, the trial, if you want to call it a trial, which lasted about 6 hours, ending with custody to him, was really more like a pretense of a trial, as lawyers in the case each separately took the position, not the DCF lawyer, but the lawyers representing parents and Harmony, each separately had a position that Harmony should be with this man who only had seen her literally 20 times in her entire life. And when he saw her, he had to be monitored by a social worker. They wouldn't even let Harmony be with him alone during these 1 or 2 hour visits because they were so concerned about the fact that he hadn't really complied with most of the services. So it's an alarming story. And yes, I'm going to tell it very soon. But when you have a child who at 4 years of age is supposedly telling her lawyer that she wants to be with this man that she barely knew, as opposed to her mother, who she had been with at times, it's just a stunning story. And I'll tell you straight out, it's a story that Massachusetts lawmakers and governmental officials don't want me to tell. They don't want Blair and Jonathan to tell it. They don't want to hear their side of the story. And right now, the budget in Massachusetts has been approved by the governor, and our request to have a commission look at this has not been approved by lawmakers. So it's really distressing to know how Harmony was so mistreated in Massachusetts, so many mistakes, so many acts of reckless indifference, and still nothing. You know, they just want to put Harmony in the rearview mirror in Massachusetts. And it's a stunning story about just the neglect that she had to suffer at the hands of the Massachusetts Child Protection System. What I write about in the book is I have a chapter or a discussion called Expendable. And in my view, that's how they viewed Harmony in Massachusetts, as simply being expendable.
It's beyond heartbreaking. I think many of our viewers, you know, all around the world just fell in love with this precious child. And it's just such a shame that she didn't have a chance. She just never stood a chance for many of these reasons that you're citing, Judge. And we want to hear your story. We want to hear the story on Court TV when you release the book. Cannot wait to read it. And please, as you get closer to the release date, let us know, Judge. Come back on the show. We'll dig in deeper and hear some more of Harmony's story, because we certainly want to keep her memory alive. Judge Carolersin, you're the best. Thank you so much for your time this morning and your expertise. We'll see you soon.